Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. 5 things that we learned watching Manchester United all but secure Champions League qualification yesterday. And if it wasn't for Liverpool's equaliser, we would have secured Champions League qualification, giving us Champions League qualification and a trophy and one more cup final to come, where we are massive underdogs, admittedly. I share some of the frustrations of Erik ten Hag, and I'll get into the 5 things. But I shared the frustrations of Erik ten Hag of not being able to kill the game, because that would have made everyone's life a little bit easier, because at 1-0, even though we scored early, not being able to get that second and secure the points was a little bit on the frustrating side. Right, number 1, Casemiro acrobatics. It's actually a goal that gets better and better the more you look at it, the more you understand it. It was incredible. And he starts his run from so deep. Casemiro gambles in a big way. Eriksen just sort of sticks it in a good area. Obviously gets an attempted clearance from the defender, but he still has started that run from so deep, gambled, just been in the right place at the right time, and then connected with it unbelievably. If a striker scores that goal, people are losing their mind. This is a defensive midfielder that's got into the 6-yard box to score an overhead goal kick and looks like he's reincarnated Mark Hughes to do it. Absolutely sensational stuff. So, well done on that. He seems to always step up when we need him, and he contributes with like a nice amount of goals. He could have had a second. He hit a second one really sweet as well. He could have had the second. Obviously, we didn't get the second. But yeah, like Casemiro just seems to pop up, doesn't it? And with no Marcus Rashford in the team, obviously, I hope there's a little bit of game playing now just to make sure that we have our best 11 available for the FA Cup final. So important. I just hope it's now a case of, whoever can ever get us over the line, however we can. But it was nice to see him popping up, because without Marcus, the goals, as we've said all season, the goals in the team just aren't really there. Number 2, lacking urgency and potency. So this is what Ten Hag sort of touched on. The one criticism being that you can't, or we didn't kill the game off. And he's right. We didn't. You can't really argue with a single word of that. Scoring so early, pretty dominant in the game. Certainly had plenty of opportunities to score, but didn't. Solanke came close twice. Brooks had another effort, fingertip save from De Gea. De Gea had a really good game. We'll talk about him in a second. But they had chances to get back in it, and 3 points could have become 1 or even none very quickly if we hadn't have had De Gea doing what he does best, which is that. Here's the thing. This is the conundrum of De Gea. He picks up another clean sheet. He's already won the Golden Glove, but there's still the aspects of goalkeeping that he lacks the required level in. But what's never been in doubt is his pure shot stopping. His pure shot stopping is as good as it gets. The other aspects of his game, room for improvement, as we know. But yeah, Rashford's absence felt again. We were able to take and hold all 3 points, but it was iffy at times. It was iffy. Lacking a little bit of urgency, and similar, not as many shots obviously, but similar to what we saw against Wolves last week, where you got to have a ton of shots just to be able to get 1 goal in. That needs to improve. We've got to become a lot more clinical. Daniel Berry says, De Gea didn't make a single save you wouldn't expect yesterday. I have to disagree. I just simply have to disagree. That's like saying a striker didn't score a goal you wouldn't expect him to score. He's still got to score it. Do you know what I mean? Number 3, De Gea. So he's been getting a lot of stick, and some of the stick is absolutely 1000% justified. Like the header that he just, was it a header? The shot that he allowed in that he just should have got his hand to the other week, just shite. But then at other times pulls out unbelievable saves, and you go, I don't know how he got to that. He has won the Golden Glove. He has kept us in the fight in many games this season. There's a lot of rumours about a new contract being given, and I think because of the situation with the owners and the fact that we need loads more players bringing in and the FFP sort of thing hanging over us to a certain degree, I think because of all of those kind of factors, I think he'll get a new contract and the decision on him will be kicked down the road a year or two. And you can argue whether that's the right thing or that's the wrong thing. I think that's the thing that will happen. I don't think they'll bring in a new goalkeeper. Certainly not someone to challenge him for first place this summer. I think there's more pressing issues, and I think because of the FFP factor, they can move this decision further down and make do this year if they need to. Get your questions in, and I will answer these lot in a bit as well. Number 4, we won away from home. It is our 8th away win in the season, but that's not enough for a team that wants to go on and compete. That's where the I would say marginal gains, but actually quite large gains will be made this season. It'll be winning more games away from home, and we'll be a lot closer to being title contenders. Now, I don't think you replicate your home form away from home, because if you do, I think you're champions. If you're able to just copy-paste our home form onto our away form, we're picking up number 21 next year. So I think that's a little bit unrealistic. I think you can definitely improve it, though, and close the gap. And that's what I'll be hoping that we do next year. It's really been our weakness this season. That, a striker, depth in certain positions, that's the reason that United aren't champions. But we got to win in a place that isn't the easiest place to go. Can be quite tough. Villa, Liverpool, Fulham have all lost there recently. It is a vital 3 points. And like I said at the top, it's basically sorted us out for Champions League. We need a point out of the last 2 games, assuming Liverpool don't fudge it on the way, which leaves us the last point. Top 4 secure, kinda. 1 point out of the last 2 games. Liverpool dropped points against Villa, could have lost. It's completely in our hands, with a second swing at it as well. So I think United will get the job done, and maybe even get it done and be able to rest a few people for the final game of the season. That'd be a nice one for us to do, wouldn't it? But yeah, what are you guys saying in the comments? Amir or Joel going to do a eulogy for Joel? Amir or Rio going to do a eulogy for Joel on Monday? No, because they're proper sad, aren't they? Jarvis Cocker says afternoons. Hang on. Ryan Reynolds and Jarvis Cocker. What a weird set of celebrities that are in the chat. Paul says, I've been saying it all along, 2 strikers, 2 mids and a centre-back in that order is must. I don't think you're going to get all of that, though, realistically. Not all first choice, certainly. I think you might get some backups in those positions, but not sure. Amaya says, Wan-Bissaka, did I ever think he would be doing flicks in a posing hat? Nope. He's surprised everyone, aren't he? Now, the interesting time here now is, do you think he's still got the capacity to go on, continue his improvement, and become the right back that we paid 50 million for? Or is it like, hey, he's done really well, let's sell him while his value is relatively high and get somebody in that we actually want? Where would you sit on that one, I think? Daniel says Kane and Højlund are a must. I don't think you'll get both of those. But that's it. Tom says they're just common people. Nice. Jays Parker says, afternoon, Steve. 3-word review on Sancho yesterday. United career problem. In a nutshell, I think he's struggling for whatever reason. He obviously had personal problems at some point in the season this year. He's not been able to get over those just yet. That's not to say he won't, but I think he's struggling with a United career. I don't know if you can just afford him time with everybody else kind of performing and let him get back there in the wings. But yeah. Abhinav Verma says, Steve, did I see Ashley Young try a Cruyff turn at Anfield and fail again? I was screaming. I thought he'd gifted Liverpool a big chance. No, can someone send me what screenshot in the game that, what timestamp in the game that was yesterday? Because I might need that in the coming weeks. Brylan says, stick Sancho, you are giving him night right. Think you all being unfair. I don't know what the entirety of that sentence is, but I think we're all being unfair. I don't think we're being unfair. I saw what this kid was capable of at Manchester City. We all saw what he was capable of at Dortmund. That player isn't at Manchester United at the moment, and he certainly isn't there with any level of consistency. So I don't think we're being unfair on him. I just don't think he's got it. Marzook says, live 5 things we learned. Yeah, you might have noticed I didn't do a review yesterday. We went straight. Paddock's game kicked off at 2 o'clock, so I missed the entire first half, and I was hoping to watch the second half. I didn't get to watch the second half, and I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about a game that I haven't fucking seen, right? Some people might do that. I'm not one of them. So I had to wait until I've actually seen the game. Now I've seen the game, and come and talk to you guys about it, but there's no point me doing a review this morning after I've watched the game. I might as well just do the 5 things that we learned, because that's the one that makes sense in it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here. I don't talk to you about players that I haven't seen, and I don't talk to you about matches that I haven't seen, okay? So when I do a scout report on someone, some of you guys might request scout reports, and it might take me a month to get it done, right? It's because I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about somebody that I haven't fucking seen. Don't work like that. How did Paddock do? We won 5-3. Possible goal of the season contender with the last goal of the season. Dom's absolutely launched one. In fact, I can see if I might be able to show it here, you know. I'll probably be able to pull it up. Let me just find it. He's hit it from near the halfway line, and it's flown in. Absolutely flown in. Let me find it. The chat's just got all sorts of shit. So we had drinks in here and then went out last night. So the chat is just full of all of that nonsense. We also scored a free kick. Our striker finished with a hat-trick. If he'd have got 4, he would have equalled our top scorer this season. He's only been here 12 games. He's been here, and would have equalled our leading scorer for the season. New striker that we got just after Christmas. So yeah, I'm trying to download this video, and then can I do it there? There we go, download. I think I can throw this on screen. Need studio mode. Where's studio mode? There. That one. Oh, hang on, it's done it. It's not done it. It's just not having it. Romano saying Palestri is close to signing a new deal. That's interesting. Let's see how that goes for him. All right, let me just try and drop this in. Transform, fit to screen. Right, I have no idea if this is going to work. Here's the goal. Our final goal of the season yesterday. See if it works. Oh, it didn't work, did it? Nope, not working. Well, I don't know what's going on. Let's try another way. See if it works. Hang on, let me find it. Oh, there we go. So that was the goal. You want to watch it again? Here we go. Decent hit. Figured it out. So yeah, that was our goal from yesterday. Final goal, 1-5-3. Season's over. Finished a hard mid-table. I think we finished 6th. Let me just check. Is that a full-size pitch? I'd say it's a bit bigger than a full-size pitch. Actually, it's really, really, really big size pitch, that one that we play on. We finished 7th. Yeah, we finished 7th. Dropped a load of points that we shouldn't have done. And it is what it is. We easily could have got promoted, but we clearly didn't. So there you go. Alan says we should go for Victor Roque and Robert Renan, Brazilian youngsters, 19 as a backup and striker defender. Amazing players. Jarvis Cox says he's in the opposition, was clapping for that goal. Polish Wonder says that guy's a unit. Matthew Coward says Sky Sports would put a video of that saying it was a halfway line goal. Wasn't quite halfway line, was it? Samir says, hear me out, off topic. What if Ineos buy United and then Jassim goes out and buys Ineos? Well, I don't think it's that simple, but I guess it's potentially possible. Ion says, do you think Maddison could play 10 or 8 for us? Is in top percentile for all attacking metrics. I'm not sure. He definitely thrives off being that final sort of creator. It's going to be interesting to see which players. Obviously, people are talking about Ward Prowse. There's a few different players. But there's plenty of players in the relegation sort of areas that would really improve us. Arush says, Wan can tackle, don't want a centre mid in every position. You don't, but you do need some other abilities, and there's still problems with him a little bit. Someone says, Steve, Honey Badger says, Steve, have I seen Kim Min Jae's new pad in Cheshire? No, I've not. Where's that being reported? Ruben says, Gift Orban's story is something else, ain't it? Also, so's his quote on Arsenal. However, we are doing a scout report on him Tuesday, I think, so look out for that one. KFA Posse says, I feel we need to be prepared to miss this window. Thoughts? It might be good to think we're not signing anyone and then just be happy with whatever comes. Martin says, Jonathan David, a decent option. Yeah, I think people have cooled on him a little bit this year, but I think he'd still do bits. Have I heard about McAllister to the Dippers? Only the rumours. I haven't heard anything concrete on it. Mark says, Ragnick recommended Bella Kotchap before he went to Southampton. Decent young centre-back, and I've rated him when I've seen him. Good potential. Mill says, not sure we're going to sell Tony Marshall unless we sign 2 strikers. We can't even sell our own club. It's a good point. Any players from the teams likely to go down at you take it United? Yeah, I mean, we'll probably do that as a whole video anyway. Relegated players. Brian says, our lack of squad depth this season means we're probably not going to sell all the players we need to get rid of, unfortunately. I think we're going to sell some, though, because I think that's a very straightforward way to raise some funds, and I think that United need to do that. Simon says, Leicester is getting raided by everyone in pre-season. No doubt. Lil Yo-Yo says, are we still getting Ashley Young on Vibe with 5? Supposedly. Honey Badger says, Team Talk reported it's some blown named James Marshman. Says he's got a place in Alderley Edge. I mean, if he comes, that's where he's going to move, innit? I don't think he's going to live in fucking Crumpsall. How do I feel about Johnny Evans returning? Genuinely, worst players out there. Genuinely, if you was like, could you come and be a backup for us? He'd be like, yeah, not a problem. And he would actually deliver on it as well. So there you go. Anyway, that's what I think. Obviously, that's what some of you guys think. That is it. 5 things that we learned today. Nice and easy, little live one. I'm in that there London tomorrow. I'm not sure who we've got on. There are rumours of multiple different players that might be coming and joining us tomorrow, but I don't know who. So I guess we'll have to find out tomorrow. But I know there was at least 2, and they were trying to figure out if they could box around it, including one that's a bit of a superstar. So stay tuned for that. Cheers for tuning in as always. I'll catch you later in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.